Hello and welcome to The Nation. I'm Gerard Ratnam. Today we turn our focus to the leadership of Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, 3 years into office and 3 years into the governance framework of MADANI. We're going to find out a little bit more about what has been done in the past 3 years and how integrity plays into everything that's happening with the MADANI government. Now, joining me is Datuk Dr. Haji Mazlan Haji Ahmad. Datuk, thank you very much for being with us today. It's so good to have you here. You're a fearless governance guardian and a seasoned finance architect. You've walked the corridors of banking, law and anti-corruption or reform, and you did it with equal conviction all the time. Now, you're the advisor to the Enforcement Focus Group with the Enforcement Agency or Integrity Commission, better known as EAIC. Someone who has observed the leadership, the integrity and public trust, not from a distance, but from the system itself. Now, I'd like to start here. You've watched PMX navigate politics at its roughest ages, prison, parliament, Putrajaya. Through all that, his core seems unchanged. Now, what truly defines Anwar Ibrahim's leadership DNA?
Thank you, Gerard. Thank you for having me today. Let me start with this very important key. My background, when I finished my graduation from International Islamic University, my first job is with Central Bank of Malaysia. I'm very fortunate spending there more than 20 over years. The discipline ranging from regulatory enforcement, but the most impactful during my 20 over years experience in Bank Negara is about enforcement. I was the head of enforcement in Bank Negara. Therefore, I can see how the enforcement evolved in Malaysia. I remember those days when mentioned about me, Mazlan, the most tough guy, not even governor, because as head of enforcement, not only we arrest, we put them in prison, but more importantly, we really put the law above than everything else. So in this regard, the core about Datuk Sri Anwar DNA is about, one is his sustainability goals. Of course, people ask me, what is it about sustainability? To me, the sustainability, the closest meaning sustainably in the context of Malaysia is barakah. Barakah means whatever that he do, the first he want to get the please and blessing of the God, of Allah. If Christian, we have Jesus, Buddha and so on and so forth. And this is in line with our rukun negara. The first is kepercayaan kepada Tuhan. And for him, whatever that he do, the first thing is he will be answerable to God. That's why he always mention, I want to make sure Malaysia will become the real leading sustainable goal for the country. So for this regard, this is where he's always mentioning this. To get the sustainability, we cannot work in silo. Even we cannot work as a nation in silo. We have to work with others. I remember with you, Gerard, we went to Timor-Leste. The reason we went to Timor-Leste, because Timor-Leste, our latest members of ASEAN countries.
The 11th member.
Yes, 11 members. But I'll tell you this, in reality, no other country except Malaysia really want to champion, really want to see Timor-Leste become our members of ASEAN.
Why is that so?
Because, very simple, Timor-Leste only 1.4 million population. Income per capita is only $100 US. And the rest of our members said, Timor-Leste is a poor country, underdeveloped. Then Anwar said, yes, because they are poor, because they are underdeveloped, that's our duty. As our developed country, we must help them. This is where, because Datuk Sri Anwar understand the struggle, the fighting spirits of President Hota and also Timor-Leste Prime Minister Zanana.
Gusmao.
Because they share, they share the spirit, fighting spirit. That's where our Malaysia Prime Minister really championing.
Right. But this brings me to a very interesting part or side of Datuk Sri Anwar. His story is practically a case in resilience. He was detained, he was sidelined, yet he was never out. Now he's the one signing the policy, making the decisions. I guess the question here is, how have those scars shaped the way he governs the country today?
You see, if you look at the history, all the super leader, world-class leader, or even in the context of Islam, all the prophets coming from this narrative, mujahadah, struggle, hardship. So I believe that Datuk Sri Anwar has gone through the process. So this way I believe only those who has been going through the hardship, they understand the value, the process. They want to make sure nobody will go through the same hardship that he faced before. So we are very good, we are very blessed to have a leader that understands the process, the concept. Then he want to bring our nation. Malaysia is not only to become, champion for Malaysian context for the people, but also he want to become Malaysia to serve the whole world.
And most of us see him through headlines, to the great debates he's had. But I guess you've seen him behind the job title. What do people, or what do we often get wrong about Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim as a person?
You see, because Anwar Ibrahim, he's so fierce orator. So that perception is a debater, orator. Therefore, we are not the same level. But in reality, he's no. He's really down to earth. He speak, he listen attentively, and he gives chance to come back with any good reason. So this way we can see for his, even junior officer can see him, even ordinary people can see him and say something, and even can tegur dia, can nasihat dia. So there is no barrier.
Right.
I know there are some leaders.
Have you personally tegur and nasihat the Prime Minister?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Now, and I like to get to a side of this conversation that you like to talk about, integrity. He talks integrity like it's about integrity, like it's not non-negotiable, not a slogan. He applies it where it hurts, where hiring is concerned, spending, even power. Now, how does he turn that principle into everyday leadership choices from Putrajaya or the PM?
You see, integrity is something that when you are given mandate, responsibility, you will do the best, even without the present, even nobody see you. Even no bosses see you, even no supervisor oversee you. But integrity, you do it to the best your level, your knowledge, but with real sincerely. So this way, integrity is a pillar of any nation. Integrity is what? This is what we always share. Integrity is about 5 things. The first, iman. Iman means belief. Now that Anwar believe we can become the leading nation to serve the whole world under the concept Rahmatul Lil Alamin. I mean from Malaysia to the whole world. Whatever product, whatever services, whatever expertise that we have, we groom, we develop in Malaysia is not meant for Malaysia alone. It must serve the whole world. We are talking about peace, technology. That's why if you look at a MADANI framework policy, it's about sustainability, very clear. It's about care and patience. It's about innovation. It's about respect. It's about prosperity. It's about trust. So in short, sustainability that he always emphasized, we must take care our people. Our people, whether from different religious, different race, they are our people. We must first take care. And then here is talking about profit. Whatever company that we have, enterprise, Sdn Bhd or listed company, they must make a lot of profit. So this is why he create a lot of policy framework. Of course, I don't have to tell you, there are so many policy, procurement, so on and so forth. This is good for economy. And of course, we are talking about prosperity, mean everybody will get the benefit. Not only Malaysia, we must also share to our neighboring country. But now he's not talking about ASEAN, he's talking about world. So we have a role to play. Malaysia is not to become jago kampung. Malaysia want to be mendunia. Dunia mean world. That's our aim. And I don't see any reason why we cannot achieve that. And of course, planet. Planet, we have to take care. Unfortunately, you see what happened at our neighboring country about the flood. One of the reasons because we don't take care of our own planet. And of course, all these things cannot be done, cannot achieve within 2 and 3 days. We have to have a longer period. So in the case of Datuk Seri Anwar, yes, these 3 years into Madani government, and we must give him chance so that we can change and reform whatever that we people, we rakyat want to see things happen in our Malaysia.
Now the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, to be exacting, has been very clear about corruption. He says corruption is the cancer, cut it out first, everything else follows. Now, how has that become the identity, not just for the PM, but of his whole administration? And is the administration and the civil service playing catch-up?
Datuk Seri Anwar already announced corruption is #1 enemy of our country, public #1 enemy. So he's not about slogan, but he really put into practice. And he's informed all our agency. He will not disturb, he will not disrupt, and he will not impose. You do. That's why I'm very sad to say this. Perception. The first perception is Datuk Seri Anwar and all the law enforcement agency conduct selective investigation. Datuk Seri Anwar conduct selective prosecution. But I would say this, no. He never disturbed, he allowed things to happen impartial, professional. That's why if you look at the current cases, he said go and investigate even our own people, whether they are our party, whether they are close to our allies. No. Datuk Seri Anwar is, colorblind. Whether blue, red, hijau, everybody summer. If you are wrong, you'll be investigated.
It's interesting that you say that, and while this is true, it's very easy for an opposition to look at it and say, cerita je, senang je kalau nak cerita semua boleh cerita. But the fact is, I think there needs to be more indicators for people to hush people up once and for all, and one of that is the CPI. Now we're going to take a short break and we're going to come back and talk about the CPI. Of course, we're talking about the Madani government, 3 years into the Madani government and Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's administration. But I think the tie-in here is the CPI, something that is really important, integral in making this nation move forward. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and find out more with Dr. Haji Mazlan Haji Ahmad right here on The Nation. Hi, and thanks for staying with us right here on The Nation, Bernama TV. My name is Gerard Ratnam, and I'm currently speaking with Dr. Haji Mazlan Haji Ahmad, who's here to talk about 3 years of the Madani government. Now, I did mention the CPI, or the Corruption Perception Index, and we were talking about this extensively before we got into the studio. Now, I think the tie-in here about a leader doing his job is the CPI. Where do we begin with this conversation?
Okay. When our CPI, this year, for example, we rank number 57. CPI is very important numbers for any country. If the CPI numbers drop, that means you don't expect a lot of foreign direct investment comes in. Therefore, that determines how far we can go in terms of economy reform. So when our CPI for this year only 57, Datuk Seri Anwar really concerned that we must improve drastically. That's why he imposed for us CPI must reach level 25 by the year 2033. That's why a special task force was formed. special task force was led by our Chief Secretary General Tan Sri Shamsul, and of course the members are senior KSU and 4 expert industry. One of them, myself, Tan Sri Wahid, and Datuk Sri Chairman of Bernama. So everybody have a lot to play. And I remember we discussed, we debate, so now we come into conclusion, you must have 6 focus group. So the 6 focus group are enforcement, because enforcement, if we talk about, we have the law, but if we do not enforce effectively, it makes no use. Second is about public funding. Yes, a lot of leakages happen. Yes, a lot of mismanagement. That's why today we are talking about how we can manage public funding. So a lot of bill introduced recently. Yeah, aware. And then of course the third is about business competitiveness. A lot of people coming to Malaysia, they said very difficult. If you want to do business, we have to pay under the table.
Yeah.
So because of this, we have, you know, business competitiveness task force where the secretary is MPC, and for public funding, secretary is MOF, whereas for enforcement, secretary is EAIC. I would like to say this: if anybody feel any law enforcement do not follow, do not practice integrity and governance, you can report to us, EAIC. Then we can investigate. I would like to say this: we can investigate other law enforcement agency.
So the EAIC can investigate. If you think there's something wrong, what you need to do is to get in touch with the EAIC, and the EAIC will. Is this a confirmation here on the airwaves that the EAIC pledges to do that for every rakyat?
Yes.
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 So that's a pledge right here on national TV.
That's why I said, Gerard, there is no such thing as selective investigation and selective prosecution.
Right.
If there is any, please, I would like to invite anybody of our, penuntun, please come to our EAIC office.
Right. Now, 3 years into Madani, we're seeing quite shifts, governance culture, procurement rules, enforcement. What outcomes stand out as proof of integrity-based reform taking root? Give us an example, maybe a simple example.
If we look at today, every day, our Prime Minister speak about Tata Kelola. Tata Kelola is about governance. Make sure we have to have the best procedure. Tata Kelola is about procedure. And I would like to inform this, even MACC for that matter, we do not only investigate criminal, we also investigate company that do not follow the Tata Kelola. Then we can investigate Tata Kelola. If they do not comply, then after that we can charge them. So Tata Kelola is the main thing now. If I can speak on behalf of our government, and I can also speak on behalf of MIA, Malaysia Institute of Accountant, and also MIXA, we have the best governance, corporate governance from Bank Negara, from the government SC, so on and so forth. But what will happen now, still we receive complaint to say cases involving corruption and abuse of power. So this way, we go back to concept of human governance, how human governance can manage our own self.
Right.
And so today...
Yes, he keeps pushing for the civil service to be future-ready, tech-enabled, transparency must be a big part of it, and accountable. Are we moving fast enough to transform the public sector, or is it the pace still too comfortable, or we're just inching forward?
I would say we are there. The awareness among the public servant, yes. And they know whatever they do, they are accountable. That's why I want to go back to the earlier. Datuk Sri Anwar always mentioned about sustainability with a with barakah. Barakah means all of us will be answerable in hereafter. If you do not comply, you do not perform as mandated, then you'll be answerable why we do not comply. Why we take one pen from our office without getting the permission from our supervisor. Similarly, why we take leakages, why do we take corruptions? So nothing is free.
Nothing is free. Now,
Yeah.
legacy isn't built on 100 policies. It's one big lasting change that everyone, you, me, and everyone here in this country, all 38 million of us, so whatever the numbers counting at now, we should feel it. Which Madani idea could become Anwar Ibrahim's permanent imprint on Malaysia or in the country?
You see, Anwar Ibrahim is not seeking for slogan, neither he's seeking for survival, because he has survived throughout the years. He's now focusing to leave legacy for Malaysia to become champion for the whole world. The cause of integrity, governance, corruptions. So again, integrity, I would say, very important, because if our integrity is okay, mean the effect will be okay. I want to say this: integrity is about the cause. If the cause is okay, the effect from the cause will become super okay.
Right.
That's very simple. Today, we want to build Malaysian to become insan. That's why we speak about modal insan. So modal insan, I remember I was speaking in British Parliament, House of Lords, London recently. The organizer asked me, Datuk, if you are given 1 minute to speak up with Elon Musk, what do you want to say? I said, I remember Datuk Sri Anwar always mentioned to us, Malaysian will carry this insan in his heart. Insan means we are super in IQ, super in EQ, and of course, we are also super in SQ. That means whatever that we do, we have close relationship with our Creator, whether Allah, Jesus, and so on and so forth. And I remember two weeks ago, I was invited for Global Peace Forum in Jakarta, again speaking in Indonesia Parliament. The same. I carry and echo what Datuk Sri Anwar always say, this sustainability for the whole world is about barakah. When we get the please of our Creator will give the entire prosperous to us. And the way to achieve that prosperous is through sustainability, what we call is wakaf. So wakaf is the way. So I would like to say this, Gerard. Alhamdulillah, our friends, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, Jews Association want to learn from Malaysia, and they want Malaysia to lead to set up interface financing, where Malaysia will have next year Bank Wakaf Digital.
So the Bank Wakaf Digital is a step forward for us. We've got about a minute or two left. I just like to leave you with this time, not to tell us how the government has fared in 3 years, but what you want everyone to know, because you're also part of the government machinery now. What do you want people to know about the work of the government in the past 3 years, or the Madani government to be exact?
Okay. What I would like to see here, as what Datuk Sri Anwar always mentioned to us, for us to achieve sustainability, we have no choice. What we need to do is 3 things. The first, globalization. That means Malaysia for the whole world. That means from Malaysia to the whole world. Globalization. We are not jago kampung, as you said. We are mendunia. That means from Malaysia to serve the whole world. Technology, economy, finance, social, so on and so forth. But to achieve this, we have no choice. Madani framework is about innovation. So, of course, Datuk Sri Anwar always emphasized about digitization. And today, again, another launching of Pro2 EV car.
Right.
And recently, we have Proton, now Pro2. So this is his idea to make sure we Malaysian become champion, not as spectator but driver on the seat of digitization.
Right.
So we would like to see Malaysia will become like Estonia, fully digitized country.
Right.
Yeah, but of course the third is about enterprise. Enterprise, that means we allow our, whether they are public servant, from corporate sector, from academia, NGO or public at large, they are encouraged to become entrepreneur.
Right.
Enterprising spirit is the key. And what we need to do is we have no choice but must make sure we do it smart partner. That
Right.
means from federal, state government, local authority. Of course, today in Malaysia context, we have religious council, we have palace council. We must work.
Everyone has to work together.
Work together.
And I think looking into 2026, smart partnerships is the way to move forward. Now, leadership is never without scrutiny and integrity, and is never without test. But as the nation progresses, these 3 years serve as a measure, not just what has been achieved, but of what remains to be done. I'm Gerard Ratnam. This has been The Nation on Ratnam TV. Thank you very much for staying with us.